Welcome, welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. As we start this program, you can pick up the telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything: politics, religion, socioeconomic issues, any issue trending. You can pick up the telephone. The telephone number is 442-0175. We're on RealFM 91.9, 91.5. We're on We Noise FM, Brooklyn, 94.9 New York. We're on YouTube and Facebook. And you could put us anywhere else you want. Share, subscribe, like our program, and participate. We welcome you all. While we await your call, and we expect you to call quick, we want to continue to bring to the fore for discussion our young males in the society. We ought to be concerned about the direction our young males are going. I ask myself on many occasions, is society willfully contributing to the direction our males are going, the negative direction? And they always say, bend a tree while it's young. So when you're looking at the direction our males are heading, two groups of people are principally involved: the parents and the school. I consider a parent as anybody over 18 years that could influence the life of a child. So if you have no children, but you're 18 years, and you could influence the life of a child, I consider you as a parent. Some people say you're guardian. They say peer group pressure. And the next major group is the schools. Why the school? Because it is legal that our children have to go to school. If you do not send your child to school, it's against the law. The school is institutionalized, and they have the legal teeth. The parent do not make the curriculum. They do not determine what is taught in school. In fact, the majority of parents don't have a clue what is taught in school. They don't know about the environment in school. They participate in the highlights, like graduation and school party and school fairs and school sports. So the schools have an integral part in determining what happened to our children, particularly the young men. And that age in school is 0 to 16. By the time your child is 16 or 17 years, generally they're out from compulsory school. The age for the school to be compulsory is 16, 17. What happened to your child between 0 to 16, 17 years? Who, what are the forces that influence your child? To what extent you as a parent could influence your child? And in some instances, we have a small percentage of parents that will have influence on their children. Because of their status, because of their academic education, because of the discretionary income they have, and because of the hunger for education. They wield immense power. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good day, sir.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
I was missing in action, but I think
You're back in tongue, man.
it's supposed to be back on track because I have information. Now, Mr. Pierre, I want to tell you something. I has been a supervisor in public works for a lot of years. And you see now, we will have about 600,000 people on the road right now.
6,000 people. 6,000 people. 6,000.
Sorry, 6,000 people.
Yeah.
I make a mistake. 6,000 people. My area alone used to have 8 to 9 gangs. So the small business could have seen some Christmas at an early stage. Right now, we don't have that. The small business is crying. The government don't even recognize that. We used to have a lot of people on the road since on the 15th of November. So right now, you know where we're going? The small business is suffering. Up to this time, I spoke to some small business and they told me they don't see a difference in their sale. This is why the government have to take to consideration, instead of studying about who should be leader in the NLP and who should be, they have more important things to discuss and wonder where we're going, the cost of living and whatever, instead of studying NLP business. This government is making a fundamental mistake, and some of us don't recognize it. I must speak out. I can't sit down, I'm bound to speak, because things is not right. And some people telling me that they want to talk, but they're afraid. Mr. Pierre, I want to know if we have the counter revolution going on. What's going on? They want to talk of what is going on in this country. This is one of the slowest governments in implementation of anything, whether payment or whatever. But people just quiet. As they say about your body with your mouth closed. So I want to be going back to the days of Bishop. I want callers to understand that. What is going on in this country? This government is incompetent. This is one of the worst I ever experienced in my history. I want us to talk out. Call and say what is going on. Don't frighten. The government have no respect, as I said yesterday, for the people of this country. They have no respect for Grenadians. So I want to know what is going on. I have to give somebody else a chance. Thank you.
Yes, caller, I just respond to two of the issues. Remember, with this 6,000 persons, yes, about 6,000 persons, normally 3-4 times a year that the previous government employed. This program was severely criticized. the NDC mouthpiece described it as wasting money. They said government was throwing money away. They was contributing to laziness. And they clearly indicated that they would not go down that road to employ people. So it doesn't come as a surprise. The NDC have the minimum quantity of people on the road, and principally are their strong supporters. Another comment, you have to understand that the NNP, after 40 years, is the most successful political party in our country. They should institutionalize that party. So what goes on in the NNP is everybody else's business, not NNP business alone. Particularly the leadership. The NDC would like to see a leader in NNP that look like NDC. And you can fault them for that. The NDC is a party with a strong philosophy against people in the lower income group. The NDC propagates classism. So they would love to see leaders that look like them. We are a small country. All of us is kind of intertwined. There is no clear line of demarcation between the political parties in terms of the foreign policy and the general philosophy. The biggest divide is when it comes to low-income people, because the NDC like to propagate social class. So if they can have a leader in NNP that they believe would propagate their philosophy, then it's a win-win. And you must understand that. And you must know that. Otherwise, they will sneak in on you. Another thing you have to understand, Grenada is a country where you have a lot of Marxist-Leninists and atheists. They recognize that this time is not conducive for them to show themselves. Kennedy Boulal would have described it as snake in the grass, and they're feeling in sleep. So they're waiting for an opportunity to gallivant. They're waiting for opportunity to sneak in. So the leadership of NNP is very, very important to NDC. In fact, I believe the leadership of NDC is even more important. The leadership of NNP, which should take place on the 15th, is even more important for NDC. And what's wrong with that? That is a democracy. You want to have people lobbying and canvassing for what they want. And every member of NNP have a right to lobby for who they want. That's a democracy. And nothing is wrong if NDC join in the lobbying too. You must be aware. You must educate yourself. And you must seek your interests. Otherwise, you may get more than what you bargained for. In Grenada, the old GNP was made up principally of the privilegencia and the remnant of colonialism. Maurice Bishop considered them as petty bourgeoisie. Maurice Bishop himself was considered as a petty bourgeois. In 1983, when they had the conflict They consider Maurice Bishop as a womanizer, a petty bourgeois, and as being lazy. And Maurice Bishop didn't take it easy, you know. He evoked the Angola option. So Grenada politics is slightly different from other politics in the Caribbean. We have the tendency for politics to get violent quickly. Mr. Blaze described Grenada as milk on fire. So you're watching it. As soon as you turn back, you boil up and fall. George Brizan said it was island of conflicts. During Federal Rebellion, over 12 of his generals was executed in the market square. 10,000 people fled Grenada and go to Trinidad. That is why some Trinidadians say, some Grenadians, the older ones say, Grenada has started Carnival in Trinidad. Carnival have a serious French influence. And the Spanish was more prevalent in Trinidad. That is why the parang music in Trinidad is different from the parang. The parang in Grenada is piquant. It's almost like Shatney and Jab Jab. But in Trinidad, it's more making merry and good cheer. We have to understand these things. Remember, in Grenada, we had the first execution or assassination of a sitting parliament member, Innocent Belma. He was executed in Grenada. Then we had the execution of Maurice Bishop and several members of his cabinet. They was lined up against a wall and they were gunned down in the most horrible manner. We had the commissioner of police being executed in Grenada. And the man that they accused for killing the commissioner, they claim he died 1 hour after from heart attack. So Grenada is slightly different from the Caribbean. And the convention and the leadership of the NNP is perhaps more important to the NDC. The NDC wants to make certain, that if they can influence who end up leading the NNP. So you have to be aware of that. We can't close our eyes to the politics. We have a number of people that play snake in the grass. They're atheists, but they're going to church. They're communists, but they're in America. All Grenadian communists gone to America. They did not go to Germany. They did not go to Cuba, Czechoslovakia, Russia. Even the medical doctors that studied in Cuba, the majority of them never go back to Cuba. If they go back in Cuba, it's to pick up their wife or a woman. Every time they get holiday, they go in America. They curse America. But kill them, they don't want to go in Cuba and live. They support Russia. They're against Israel. But they want to stay. I describe it as a love-hate relationship that encompasses the hypocrisy. So it makes no sense. NNP sit down there and believe NDC not interested in your election. NDC is more interested in your election than the ordinary NNP. Let me repeat that better. NDC is more interested in the leadership of NNP than a lot of NNP. And they are not idle, you know. They're quiet, they're deadly, and they're active. They are one to lobby to make certain that their interest is served. You too have to serve your interests. And that's why I encourage people. We must not turn our backs on our young males. They're not doing well in school. I don't know if there is an organized attitude to domesticate our young males. But I want to challenge you today. Start to ask questions. I always encourage you to do research. You're not researching a paper to write a thesis, but you're researching for your own conviction. Ask the young men, what are the important subjects they are doing in school? You may say, give me 5 of the most important subjects you are doing. Not the most important, what they are doing. You will see some young, hardback, strong men. They're telling you they're doing F and N. They're doing PE. They're doing HM. They're doing CT. Don't believe me when I speak. Do your own research. When you hear these numbers, if you're not in tune with modern day schooling, you may be baffled. You may be tempted to ask them, what book you're using for CT? What book you're using for H&M? What books are you using for F&N? This is the subjects. More than 70% of our males in school do it. I believe these young males are being pussified. I believe they are being domesticated. I believe they are falling through the sieve. And we will be seriously disadvantaged in the future. Don't believe me when I speak. You must do your research. Start by when you meet any young man, engage him. Find out what subjects they are doing. What they are doing in school is important. Some of you have children in it. Some of you have sons in it. In the next few years, it seems as though we're fighting to make more Puff Daddy. When these boys come out to school, later on in life, they may be very hostile to the girls. They're more likely to take advantage on them because they have adopted a strange culture. We must not close our eyes. The writing is on the wall, and we must pay attention to the writing in the wall. A child between 0 and 16 years, we are preparing that child for the job market. When a child exits secondary school at 16, 17 years, legally, that child can have sex. If it's a girl, she could get pregnant. And if it's a boy, he in position to get married. That child don't have to go for further education. They don't have to go in national college. The education that they get between 0 and 16 should well prepare them for the job market, for any direction they want. If they want to go to university, they have the basic qualification to go. If they want to go and get married, they have the basic education. And nothing is wrong with that. They're 16 years. They're legally ready. Some of them biologically ready since they are 12 and 13. But they're legally ready. And at that time, the girl may not want to go to national college. The boy may not want to go to national college. They might want to go and sow the royal seeds. They may want to have children. They may want to get married. Hormones might be jumping up in their body, compelling them to project in a particular direction. Some of our girls that in secondary school, in national college, they don't want school. They more want the boat. And parents must be wise enough to educate them, to inform them, if you didn't do that yet, that if you start to have sex because you qualify, you reach the age, you're sending out pheromones, you're biologically ready, you could only tell them about disease, herpes simplex, AIDS, syphilis, gonorrhea, and all the other disease, sexually transmitted disease. And you can educate them that they are likely to get pregnant. And there is a good chance that the man abandons them. Yes, there is a good chance. Perhaps the majority are women, not with the man they have the first child for. These are the facts of life. We have to face it. So it is more important that when a child exits secondary school, that child have the necessary minimum education. That even if the child decides to go and sleep for 5 years, when they wake up, if they want to go and study law or go to university, they have the necessary basic education. If the woman wanted to go and make children, and even though she have 10 children, and then she want to go to university, she have the basic education to go. We are doing injustice to our society. We domesticating our males. And in so doing, we're making it even more difficult for our females. Because the domesticated males could turn on the females. Take some time and study what's going on in America. With Puff Daddy and Oprah and Jay-Z and all the other flamboyant stars that like gala party. They are being blackmailed. Man, woman, they have orgies. And so many people in society do not want to speak about it. Because your child have a good voice, or somebody tell them they're looking good, they go and get themselves entrapped in a crowd of atheists. And some of them are strong advocates of Marxist-Leninism, although they're living in capitalist country. It's common. And they take advantage on their own. So we in Grenada must be concerned about our boys. Your son doing H&M, CT, PE, F&N, agriculture science. More than 70% of these children, they get entrapped. They are being domesticated. The boys are being pussified. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, quickly, I call you to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
When is best to call you back? If it's on Friday, because what happened? The amount of information I have on this government incompetence.
Call me anytime.
Your program is too short. Your program is short. For me.
That is why we believe in punching. The most important points, you make them first. No preamble. The most important points, you make them first. We provoke discussion. So when you call, make your most important point first. No preamble.
I understand.
Sometimes
What's about Friday?
You could do that on Friday too.
Because
on Fridays they tend to have
line up.
On Fridays they tend to have specific topics. But on my program I have no specific topic.
You don't have enough time right now.
Yes. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. We have a lot. 1 hour is a lot of time. And we would like to take at least 10 calls in that 1 hour. What people have to do, make your most important point first. No preamble. In addition to that, if you have reasons or justification, bring it in. In 2-3 minutes, you're supposed to do that. So if we have 1 hour, we could take at least 10 callers. Yes, caller, welcome.
Senior, good morning. The
Yes.
voice of one crying in the wilderness. How are you?
Go right ahead.
Right. Senior, I applaud this government with this bathroom and toilet project. But we know that has been started years before this government came into office. This bathroom and toilet had started under the NNP administration. While I applaud this administration, and I want them to hear me well, while I applaud this administration for the continuation of the bathroom and toilet project, I have a concern in the way in which this project has been implemented. I am making a statement here, and people will verify that. I am not pleased, and I am not satisfied the way in which they run this project. You cannot be able to just give a set of little children this bathroom and toilet to build who do not have any experience way construction is concerned. I am looking at some bathroom and toilet that is building, and come on, man, who are the people that is supervising this project? Do planning know what is taking place? If anybody brave, I need them to tell me who is the experienced contractor that you have going around where these little boys are building the bathroom and toilet without any experience in the field of construction. Do you have a senior person to stand there with them? I'm saying I am not against the bathroom and toilet project, but I need the person responsible in St. Andrews Northwest for the building of this bathroom and toilet to have a second look. Most of these children that is building this bathroom and toilet is making a mess. And anybody could attest what I am saying. Who is the individual who has the experience in the building construction? Are there anybody supervising this thing? Come on. I mean, the building of bathroom and toilet in St. Andrews, Natos, I don't know anywhere else. I applaud it, but it looked like just taking a weed and just cut grass by the road. Come. I don't know who responsible, but I am begging, please, take a second look in the construction of this bathroom and toilet. It must be done properly. Are you just going to build bathroom and toilet, and at the ending of the day, you go and say the amount of bathroom and toilet you build, and it has not done well? And senior, what I am telling you, anybody will call your program and say what Pastor Lou is saying is true. If you are going to build the bathroom and toilet, do a damn good job. Construct it good. I rest my case, senior.
Well, that is good advice for them. I don't know if they want advice. And I don't agree you calling those who building it children. Yes, they are children, but most likely they're over 18 years. So they will be young people. The question of the supervision, I don't know if Ministry of Communication and Works is involved. Because if the government take 15 million and put it on MIT to build houses, you know these people don't have a clue what is going on. If you could take 15 million that designated for housing, and you have a Ministry of Housing, you didn't put it under Communication and Works, you didn't put it under Housing, you put it under MIT. Mobilization, implementation, and transformation. And we don't know that transformation is well restorative justice. So what you expect? What do you expect? Which ministry it's under? If it is MIT, it's for political mischief. That's what MIT is all about. Mobilization under MIT is for political mischief. Implementation don't need more than one or two experienced person to deal with the bottlenecks in the different ministries. And what they call transformation, the Prime Minister said, is not transformation, it is restorative justice. Yes, scholar, welcome. Go right ahead, caller.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, good afternoon. Relative to that bathroom and toilet, which has been rebranded as Wash, what I understand is going on with this thing nowadays is that contracts is being given to people. It's not a, as it used to be run from the ministry, as you might say, a government run. It is run, or when you see a project going on, it is being run by a contractor. So they are given a contract, let's say it's $100,000 to do it. What happened. And as far as I know cases around where I am. There's always a lot of confusion among the guys on the jobs because there is hardly any proper supervision. And when time for money, there's problem, serious problem. But Mr. Pierre, that whole issue of that time of the year, what used to be happening under the previous government, where you have a whole lot of workers on the road, especially where government try to make sure that people have a dollar in their pocket. Now, the thing about it is that the previous government had the capacity to do it. What is going on now, they don't have money. That's the problem. They can't do it. Whether everybody in this country was NDC supporters or not, they just would not have been able to do it. There isn't money in the coffers. This is one of the reasons why the budget has been postponed. They don't know where money is going to come from. They can't see where money is going to come from. So they can't plan accordingly. And that's the problem that is showing up here. And that's a serious indictment. These guys are just inefficient, incompetent. They have no initiative. I mean, every time you look at it, every way, every angle you look at it, that's what shows up. That's the fact. So the disappointment that people are having now is should bear in mind. They should bear it in mind. And the whole concept of rescuing that country becomes very necessary. Because if we continue to go down a deep, deep hole economically, people are suffering when it comes to economics. There isn't money floating around the country. And that's the problem we have. Watch, this is a serious situation. And especially that time of the year when people use, I don't believe in this kind of Christmas thing and so on, not for a second. But people are looking for, or have always traditionally look forward to have $1 around that time because of how they plan their life, because of what the system is, because of the process. And that is not showing up as a custom. So that's where the problem is really in this country right now. That's the kind of thing we find ourselves in. It's a serious situation. Take care, sir.
Yes, Colin. We have the challenge, and I always say to people that there are some issues the government campaign about, and people have to stand the consequences. They don't expect to see no amount of gang on the roadside. The government campaign against that. They say they're going to plant our root and car over the road. Yes, caller, welcome.
You know, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah.
Good day.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah, that car does make a lot of sense. That he has a wide knowledge on politics, and he hit nail on the head issue. But based on what he said, I don't know how to stick together because Lennox say that they have the money that's surplus, and they say the amount of money they have the current right now, and they have only 20% they are used for. So I don't know. I don't know who lying. And he said I hear in that program say the amount of money they have there only 20% does use. So they are 80% lying there. So I mean lying there. I don't think it lying there or the money remain resting some way. But there is cause for concern in that. So take care.
Yeah, well, I don't agree with this issue that they don't have money. They met over $500 million in the treasury. That is what they said. They get over $100 million from Saudi Arabia, over $1 billion from the sale of passport. They had $26 million from some agriculture program that they get. They get $100 and something million as a result of the hurricane, in addition to other governments giving them small amounts. They claim that it was collecting more money than projected for in the budget. So I do not buy this issue about money. They have money. In addition to that, they suspend the paying of debt. So the NDC have money, and the way the NDC behaving, they're behaving as somebody that inherit money and don't know what to do with it. The Prime Minister traveling about 40 times in about, the Prime Minister traveling much more than the Minister of Foreign Affairs. One minister go away about 28 times in 24 months. It is rumored that a minister have hundreds of $1,000s in the bank account. One minister claimed he had $2 in the bank account after he first paid. No. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Mr. Pierre, you forget we just come from a hurricane.
You get 118 million from the hurricane. Now electricity get 9 million. Now also get 2.5 million.
Yes, but listen to me.
What will you do with this money?
The estimate damage at the hurricane is 1/3 of Grenada national gold.
The lie, caller. Caller, the lie. Caller, the lie. They get 118 million for now electricity get 9 million, and now also get 2-point-something million.
So they don't have to be home. They don't have to do nothing. Just take it and give people. They don't have to pay farmers.
Well, what they doing with it? What they doing with it?
They're paying people to work.
Well, which people? They got free volunteer help from Grenada.
Farmers and them getting money. They have to give them old people and them money.
Which old people?
Mr. Pierre.
They take out $150 from the elderly, the physically challenged and disadvantaged children. What they doing with the money? How you could claim you don't have money after 2.5 years? 500 million you claim you midday. You jump up, you jump up, you jump up. 1 billion from the sale of passport. 118 million from insurance. 100 million from Saudi Arabia. 26 million on some agriculture project. Plus other country give a little thing. You only like going in gala. Only having a big life in gala. Behaving like Puff, Diddy and them in America. You squander the opportunities. The NDC always do that. Remember in 2008, 2013, the NDC sold 13 pieces of property. Every month they're selling property. They sold land that did not belong to government. And they sold land that legally they couldn't sell, they still sell it. If NDC was an individual, they'd have sent them in jail. They took, a few years ago, they took 25 million, I believe, from some financial institution to cut down Belvedere nutmeg. The NDC always behave as if they're on coke. That is the government you have. It's the manner in which they manage money. Fella pick up money, he say he go down on a tour in America. You don't pay rent. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, ma'am.
You cut me off just so there. But Mr. Pierre, let me tell you something. That $500 million all you talking about it, that joke. All you make up that $500 million, Mr. Pierre. And those people balling up. I can't get it, and you have 500 million. Then I'm wickedness. Mr. Pierre, that's wickedness. To have $500 million there, and people walking up and down for money, and you don't pay them. Mr. Pierre, that $500 is a myth. Them people, Mr. Pierre, they spend, the cost of the damage is $770-something million. Where do you expect them to get the money? The body, $125 million to get it. They better put $150 million in it to help people. You're talking about this and that.
I better make it. I feel I do a better job in finance.
Mr. Pierre,
you don't feel I have blaming finance better.
This amount of money, they have to find the next $300-something million to put the boiler to help.
Well, they may get that money from the 100 house unit that is selling outside there. They could well get that money from the 100 house unit. That is not a political crime. You have 100 houses built for low income people. You set up the people. Yes, the people expect houses going to come to them. They give them the key for the house. You take out the pot on fire, take the houses from them, and you're selling it for people in the diaspora. Now, how that could be right? One woman that was working in the Ministry of Health, she applied for houses, for a house. She got a letter to say yes, she could come for the house. But she had to bring 74,000. Yes, caller, welcome. She go home in tears. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre?
Yes, caller.
Pleasant afternoon to you, sir.
Thank you, my
And a pleasant afternoon to your listening audience. Now, we are on the same page in contrast to the economic situation that we face and the kind of monies that the government would have said they collected over a period of time. What it means is that if you have that kind of money in your possession, and if you have that kind of access to that kind of money, we should not be experiencing the difficulties that we experience in today. That's one. Number two, Mr. Pierre,
There has been no other government in the history of my 60 plus years of existence whereby an incoming government say they come and meet a pregnant treasury. In the history of my existence, politically speaking, every time an incoming government come in, they say they meet an empty treasury. This one, they say they meet a pregnant treasury. And over the last 2 years, they have explicitly tell us how much monies they would have collected in tax and revenues and the selling of passports over a period of time. What I'm saying is this. I'm a NNP with a lot of NDC in me. The kind of monies you're talking about that you would have collected since coming into office, especially when it comes to the IMA program, it is not reflective in terms of our development. Now, housing. I was listening to a program this morning and Shaggy when a young lady called and speak about the progress that's been made in Dunfermline and how much, and the average person, who will have access to housing that they did not have before. Yes, and that is good, and I agree with that, Mr. Pierre. But what I want to say is that if you promise 500 houses in the first year, 500 houses in the second year, and if in the third year you only build 500 houses, what it means is that you are 1,000 houses short of what you was promised. So yes, Mr. Pierre, it's never too late, but when you're doing things that has gone beyond it is a different story. Now, I want Mr. Pierre listen to this. When it comes to I lost my trend of thought here, Mr. Pierre. I will have to call you back in another second.
Yes, scholar. Please do call back. 100 house units. Somebody must answer that. If Deacon and them cannot answer, somebody in the diaspora have to tell us. How could we in Grenada's stomach that 100 houses built for the low-income group? Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar.
And how are you today?
Great, man.
Listening to your program yesterday, and I heard you were saying that Bishop is a hero. They claim that Bishop is a hero. And they're writing history on Grenada for they to bring it in the school for children to learn the history of Grenada. I want those who write in to come to Montreach and find out the history of Maurice Bishop and the PRA and the 4 persons that lost their life in Montreach. We only know about one Wattberry or 2. We don't know about the other 2. We don't know about Glenn, which is Duck, and we don't know about Wilbur. I want them to come and find out about the people what lost their lives and the struggle that the people of Montreach go through and that regime. And today, you want to say that he's a hero? What kind of hero? The devil hero? And he start link up himself with the devil? But God is in control. Tell him run. The rest is not for the fastest, but those who could endure forever. Have a blessed evening, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar. I think we must know the... Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah,
good
evening
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a person who... are you hearing me good?
Go right ahead. Good. You're good.
I'm a person who follow, listen, and observe what is going on in this country very much. Mr. Pierre, the permanent secretary around the time of the storm, the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Mr. Sylvester, pointed out to the nation that the government has been collecting 30% less revenue than they have expected and they have the accustomed to collecting. Mr. Pierre, it's like working for $100 today. All of a sudden tomorrow, your boss come and tell you how to work for $70. You used to buy a pound of flour. You used to buy 2 pound. You used to buy 2 pound of flour. Sorry, you know how to buy 1 pound of flour. This is the kind of situation. This thing about how they call him said Chose and whoever said that they're collecting all this money and be talking in nonsense. You ever hear and this is anything that actually makes sense? Huh? You ever hear Andy do any analysis or calculation? Listen to me. Plain and simple. This government has not been able to collect revenue as they sometimes try to make it look. The fact is the permanent secretary was the one who said it. And when the permanent said he has all the figures, he's not playing politics with the dollars. The politician might come and try to play politics with the dollars. The permanent secretary pointed out clear. And if you listen to the budget supplement presentation, there was a whole lot of a duplication. Projects that were supposed to have had, let's say, $100,000 in it, or for it already, they now have to come and find more money to put into it. Look, for example, all the hold up of projects in this country. The money that was allocated for all of them was there already. You know? They were there. They come and meet money there for them. Project that was completely financed. And that even include the fourth project. And the fourth project, the first project on the fourth, is not so much of a government project, you know. It is a funded project. And that project is right now shut down. The contractor has been complaining he couldn't get money to pay his workers. What you mean? This kind of thing about money floating around in this country from the government, where the politicians are making it sound as though they have money. That's a lie.
Right.
And this guy who always calling and talking as nonsense, he doesn't know what's going on in this country.
Yes, caller. Thank you, caller.
Simple.
Yeah. Well, we're coming to the end of the program. We want to thank all those who continue to contribute to our program. The government have a policy of information based upon need to know. The government is telling lies. The government is not answering questions. And the government political activists want to intimidate and bully those who dare ask questions. The level of rumors and speculation of corruption in this government is baffling. But I ask the question 1,000 times. How we in Grenada could accept 100 houses for the low-income group that was donated by China and Grenada. Grenada contributed towards it too. These houses was targeted for Grenada. How Grenadians could accept that these houses was denied the poor of the poor, the less fortunate, the low-income group. Didn't have to be the devil's child. Didn't have to be seriously influenced by evil to do something like that in our society. We're back with you again tomorrow between 12 and 1 when we get another opportunity to punch and ask questions. Thank you very much.